Let's discuss this further now with Peter Zwack. He's a retired Brigadier General, a former U.S. Defense Attaché to Russia, in addition to being a Global Fellow at the Wilson Center and the Kennan Institute. And he joins us live now from Newport in Rhode Island. Thank you so much for being with us on the program today. Now, just walk us through the significance of Zelensky's possible visit to the U.S. How much more assistance can we expect the U.S. to give to Ukraine in defense and arms? And what kind of a response can we see from Russia?
This visit is important. It is his first visit in the 300 days since Russia's unprovoked invasion of his nation, where Volodymyr Zelenskyy has flown out of his borders, and it's a long flight. It's very, very serious. He will, if it goes to plan, he will arrive and be in Washington. He will meet with President Biden and likely meet with a joint session of Congress. And he's going to give an update and an appeal to American lawmakers about the importance of supporting his free nation against, again, unprovoked aggression. It is winter. It's getting into winter now. It's cold. It's bitter. Russian cruise missiles, drones are incessantly hitting Ukrainian infrastructure almost around the clock. The Ukrainians have gotten better and better at the air defense fight, but they need more assistance and more help in their, frankly, rather remarkable defense of their nation. So it is a very, very important visit to Zelenskyy. If it is completed as such, that he will look at, again, U.S. lawmakers, and there are some that are skeptical about continued support, why this is so important.
Right, and coming to that Russian response, if the U.S. continues to support Ukraine with a more stronger air defense system, we did hear from Putin say that they will go in full force if the Patriot missile defense system was to be sent to Ukraine, because there were reports that the U.S. was going to end up sending that defense system to Ukraine. Do you think that Russia will continue to target critical infrastructure, making life that much harder for Ukrainians?
The Russians have no credibility on this, and the threats of full force, and I'm saying conventional force, they're already doing it. They are pounding Ukraine 24/7. And the fact that air defense, a defensive weapon, is going in to try to beat back the already capable but not enough systems, especially against potential short-range ballistic missiles that the Russians have and potentially may be coming from Iran. And they also are very effective against high-flying weapons. No, the Russians can talk about, they have no credibility.
Right. Hence, figures like Stoltenberg has been saying that Russia is using the weather as a weapon of war. That brings me to the current state of the weather playing a role in this whole situation unfolding in Ukraine. Do you think that as the cold sits in, it's well under sub-zero temperatures across Ukraine, do you think that will slow down the fighting? Because we haven't seen anything of such yet. And would that eventually lead the two parties to negotiation tables?
I do not believe it'll lead to both parties' negotiation tables as long as Russia occupies substantial Ukrainian lands, especially since February. Winter fighting, the Russians are famous for, but the Ukrainians can fight in winter too, and they're fighting on their land, along their villages and towns. The population will support them. The Russian troops out there, those young Russian troops that have been thrown into the fight, regular troops and mercenaries and all that, they're miserable. and their conditions are awful, their leaders don't seem to care. And I think the Ukrainians are just going to take it to them and take it to them. The rear areas for the Russian forces are hard in the winter. It's going to even be harder to supply them with fuel and the things to keep them warm, let alone fight. Oh no, I think that the winter will actually benefit the Ukrainians and may help them with their mobility on the harder ground.
All right, Peter Zwack, thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World. It was a pleasure speaking to you.